You are listening to the very first episode here on Podomac.com. This is Alternative News Talk with your host, as always, the Fat Man, and my new co-host, Dylan. Dylan, are you ready for a great show?
I'm ready for a good show.
All right, folks. This is the lineup for Alternative News Talk. We got a story about 6 people killed in California. We got the joke of the day, and hopefully it'll be funny. We have a husband and wife involved in a murder-suicide, and we, of course, have the food of the day, and then a last topic I thrown in at the end. But you're just going to have to tune in and listen for a good 30, 20 minutes, as long as we need to find out what the final segment is. Are you ready, Dylan?
Oh, I'm ready. Sort of.
Sort of. You know, it's the first episode, and we'll try our best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we'll do our best. May not be the best, but it'll be our best.
All right. Well, of course, you can go to establishedsports.weebly.com for your exclusive of the NFL, NASCAR, MMA, all that good stuff, all your schedules, all that info at establishedsports.weebly.com, and of course, all your MMA results, predictions, schedules, pictures, all that good stuff, and more with wrestling, Next Generation Wrestling site at weebly.com. And we'll probably add a Facebook, maybe a Twitter. You know what I mean? Dylan, I think we need to hook you up with a Twitter, don't you think?
Why would I need to tweet?
Because you are Dylan, man. You need a Twitter.
Who am I going to Twitter again?
Do you know what Twitter is?
I know it's got a blue bird thingy.
Man, Twitter is the shit. And if this is a first-time listener, which it probably is because this is the very first show, this is not a PG show. So if you have little ears, you don't like cuss words, this is the show not for you. And of course,
damn skippy.
And of course, our official sponsors are Pepsi Max.
Our unofficial sponsor.
All right. So we got the website intros out of here. Opening segment. If you go to yahoo.com, like me and myself, wow, I just fucked up on the very first show. Me and Dylan went to Yahoo, and we're like, what could be the opening segment? You know what I mean, Dylan? So...
yeah, Yahoo has some decent news occasionally. Lots of blogs that get the hell on my nerves, but...
you could go to CNN if you really wanted to. But
yeah.
they had this story. Now, I know you saw it, but I'm going to share it with the listeners. Basically, the story is they were in a Southern California salon. The women, they get their hair done, right? So I guess these guys walked in with a bunch of guns and just start shooting up the place, which personally I don't understand because you really wouldn't think of a salon as somewhere where you would rob. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Basically, 6 people out of 9 people died, which is really a shame, and 3 out of 9 lived. So, apparently, they're not a very good shot, or, they just don't have common sense. You know what I mean? So, I just don't get why you would... I mean, Dylan, would you rob a salon? I mean, really?
Well, let me reiterate. From what I read, they updated it with more police records. They think that the man who went in doing it was out to get his wife for, unknown reasons. He was out to get a specific person. He just ended up shooting up the whole place. So, in my opinion, if you're going to go and try to kill one person, not saying you should, killing people's wrong, but if you're going to go for a person, just get the person you want. There's no need to kill these people. I mean, what have they ever done to you?
So,
and then,
go ahead, man.
Of those 3, only one of them survived. They all went to the hospital, but 2 of them died. And the last I read, which was last night, was that the last one was in critical condition.
Oh, okay. But, so did he just walk in there and just start shooting up the place, or did, people start scrambling, or what?
See, the way they worded it, I think he was kind of walking across the street, and he started shooting, and, they ran inside for cover, or...
And then he just chased them in.
So, he just kind of started shooting randomly into people, I guess trying to get whomever he was after, which I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it said it was his wife or his girlfriend. something along those lines.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was his girlfriend. I mean, you can go back on Yahoo, but like I get why they ran into the salon. So basically, what I'm getting out of the story is the guy. He's a little out there. He's a little psychotic. He's not all the way there. Basically, the point of my statement is he's not there. He's not all there. He saw his girl. He saw his wife, his ex, whoever, either start shooting at her, or she saw him and then went to a salon and then he shot up the place basically. Because I mean, if you go into a salon, it's pretty small and there's, quite a few people in there. So you can't just shoot one person and expect no one to do anything. I mean, if I was in a salon, I would start running. What about you?
Yeah. Well, because I totally go to the salon all the time and get my hair curled, get me a good mani and pedi while I'm there. I'd have to run for my life. I'd do something. But, I don't see anyone just sitting there reading their magazine, going nonchalantly just watching as the guy pulls out a gun and fires, whether it be at me or not.
I think the adrenaline would kick in and be like, you know what, I need to get out of here. I just don't see them. And, we don't know as of right now where the suspect was. Was he in the back? Was he in the corner? Was he in the middle or by the front door? You know what I mean? And they could have had side doors. They could have back doors. Hell, they could have just went through the front door. We don't know at this time. But the point of what we're saying is they wouldn't have just sat there. You know what I mean? And I really don't think if he was just going out for his girlfriend, I don't think that he would just shoot up the place for no reason. But you know what? We could be wrong, and he could have just went in there and just shot up the place. You know what I mean? But there's so many reasons, and there's so many. How should I put this? Different ways he could have gone about this. You know what I mean?
So. Yeah. I mean, it's a girlfriend. It might have been a wife. Problems can get bad, but you should never have a problem where you need to kill someone just because you got into a fight with them.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree.
If you use self-defense or to save someone else, that's understandable, but...
Yeah. But, personally, I think it's a shame and a horrible way to end someone's life, you know what I mean? Especially if they were, most of them, 8 out of 9 were innocent, you know what I mean? And they probably didn't even know this woman or the guy, So...
Yeah, I know.
What do you guys think? Go on the website, send me an email, comment on the podcast, let us know, It's just a shame, and we'll probably see this again, but it's just a shame, you know what I mean? So, anything else on this subject there, Dill?
Well, they did say they apprehended the suspect. He got into, I believe it was a white pickup truck, and drove down the street a ways, and then the police caught him and arrested him, and he's now in custody.
Oh, okay. So, has he confessed?
He's not running around loose, shooting up everywhere. He's caught by cops.
Yeah. So, do you know if he confessed yet?
As far as I know, they don't have any official statement from him.
Oh, okay.
Here in America, it's innocent until proven guilty, so...
So, basically, all that we're reading right now is just eyewitness accounts, basically.
Yeah, eyewitness accounts, police reports, etc.
I got you.
There's no statements from him or any official police statement.
All right. I'm gonna add a little segment. Is he guilty? Well, if you were a jury member, would you get him guilty?
Well, based off the story I've heard, it sounds like a pretty open-closed case.
Yeah.
But, as a jury, you got to be fair, and you got to exclude everything you already feel. You have to take what is just heard in that courtroom.
I will give him, the guilty verdict, but I'm going to ask you this in a minute, but I'm going to give my opinion. If you assigned him, if he got life, if he got the death penalty, less than a life sentence, personally, you got to put it in his way of viewing, or in his shoes, as some people say. He didn't, of course, we don't know this, but he probably didn't go in there and be like, hey, I'm going to shoot up, 9 people when he's only aiming for 1. So is it really worth giving him, the death penalty if he just meant on killing 1 person? Like, personally, I'd just give him a life sentence. What would you give him?
Well, of an eye for an eye. I'd say he deserves to have his life taken away. I mean, a life sentence in jail without a chance of parole may be worse for some people. I mean,
but
we don't know this guy, so honestly, a life sentence without a chance of parole could be worse than just getting a quick, injection and passing out forever.
But you got to admit this though. A life sentence, he's not going to get out. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I would just give him a life. That's just me. All right, y'all. We spent what 8 minutes on this. All right, let's go to the joke of the day. Now, guys, we just made this show up yesterday, which is we're taping on a Thursday, and I just went down and I just thought, hey, you know what? Let's put the joke of the day in there. I thought it might get him, a chuckle, but this is the joke of the day. Are you ready, Dylan Lynn?
No, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. I'll try to do my best. So basically, the joke reads: a lady goes into the dentist office, gets on the chair, spreads her legs apart. Doctor comes in. He's shocked to see what he sees, right? So he says, "Excuse me, miss, you must have the wrong place. This is a dentist office." The lady answers back, "Well, didn't you put my husband's dentures in last night?" the lady says. The doctor nodded. "Well," the lady said, "now you have to get them out."
Yeah, I've heard that one. That's rather raunchy, but it's funny.
It is what it is. All right, quick plugs, which is website Next Generation Wrestling. Sign at weebly.com for all your wrestling and MMA information. Established Sports. Weebly.com. I don't know if they go by channels or subscriptions, but basically subscribe or follow to this channel or page on pottermac.com/Andy8886, something like that.
You'll be our best friend.
There you go. And I'll try to talk Big Deal into a Twitter. You know what I mean? And you can follow me on twitter.com/Next Generation Wrestling Society. So.
Yep.
Taking me a drink of my Pepsi Max. Exclusive sponsor of the PodMac.
Unofficial sponsor.
There you go. Okay, the next subject. Basically, it's the title is a husband and wife involved in a murder-suicide. Now, Bill, do you have this page up?
Well, my computer's being, itself. It's crashed. So I'm going off my memory from what I read.
Okay, well, I have it in front of me. And basically, this is the transcript. Basically, the title is, the wife killed her husband and then turned the gun. I believe I haven't read the whole thing. As I look very briefly, it doesn't... Oh, so it was a 53-year-old woman shot her 50-year-old husband on Tuesday morning in Wagner County, which is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. At 2
Really? Here in Wagner?
Yeah, at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Huh.
So basically,
they party too hard?
I don't know. Basically, they were in Coweta. Officers say, it was a 53-year-old woman shot and killed herself. 50-year-old husband on Tuesday morning. Deputies arrived at the home, located, gave the address. They basically found both bodies from gunshot wounds. And the authorities basically said that the wife left a note of confession to the shooting of her and her husband's death. And family members basically said the reason this happened was marriage went bad. So, honestly, if you're having a bad marriage, just end it. It's just basically common sense. Like, why would you either take your own life, but especially why would you want to take the other person's life? You know what I mean?
Well, if you really just had a bunch of hatred manifested towards them, I can see why you want to end their life, but I don't think that's a good reason for it.
But even though you want to kill the person, fine, you want to blow their ass away, all right? But why would you take your own self? Why would you take your own life?
See, that's my point. I mean, what's the point if you really want to take this person out of this world? Why would you take yourself too? Now you're both gone. What's the point in that? Why should you take them away from this world? Get them out of this world so you don't have to deal with them. Just to take yourself out.
Maybe
at least choose one or the other.
Maybe it's because she didn't want to go to jail. Maybe she didn't want to get killed by them. Maybe she would worry about it too much that she confessed. I mean, there's so many reasons, you know what I mean? So I could understand why, but she's 53. Give it another 10, maybe 12 years, she can retire. You know what I mean? They lived. I mean, if they're both 50, they probably lived with each other or dated or were married for a good couple years. Maybe not, but I don't understand why you would kill the person in the first place. Maybe that's just me. You know what I mean? I just don't understand.
Now, if they both wanted to just, end it, that'd be I could understand in some sense of why they do that. But, you wouldn't have her kill him for him. He'd have to do it himself, or otherwise he shouldn't go down.
I'm just saying, if y'all want to split. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just me. The murder-suicide thing, I don't understand it. You know what I mean?
I've never experienced anything in my life that would consider something like that.
But, I mean, maybe it was just that bad. Or maybe the husband threatened her. Or maybe there's so many possibilities that we don't know yet. You know what I mean? And the page that I'm
on, we can't pass a judgment on it because we don't know the circumstances. All we know is the end result.
And all we can do is give our opinions
based off of what we know.
And the page I have up right now, it's from last night. I don't know if they refreshed it. Here, let me try to refresh it. Maybe they added more, but
Yeah.
It's just sad as I look at it. Basically, all they added names has not been yet released. As I read over this again, there's a new little hint that they gave. She left a confession note. So this was basically, if she was still alive, this would be first degree murder because it was, she thought about it.
It was premeditated.
That's the word I was looking for, Dill. I just didn't want to sound like an idiot. Thank you for that. See, people, that's why you have a co-host. But my point is that they didn't get into an argument, they didn't get into a fist fight, they didn't get into anything that would provoke her to basically shoot the guy in the fucking head. You know what I mean? So she's been thinking about this, or she thought about it a day before, a week before, a month ago. Something that made her go, hey, I want to kill this guy. And then maybe she was like, well, I'm going to kill myself right after, or then it just happened and she just killed herself. Or maybe it was an accident. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's so many what ifs, and I mean, there's always the possibility that, someone that killed them both and, forced her to write it, or there's just so many possibilities in the situation. Some of them aren't that reasonable, but they're still possible.
And the sad thing about this is no one got justice for it. You know what I mean? Our country is built off of justice. You do something wrong, then you should get justified for it. The families of the guy, even if he was a piece of shit, he still got killed. Now, granted, if he beat on her, if he did sexual things with her, fine. The son of a bitch deserved it, but we don't know anything about that. As of right now, he's an innocent bystander, an innocent victim. You know what I mean? And
they get the consolation that the person who killed him is also dead, but that was by her choice. That didn't really take anything from her. That wasn't any form of payback or apology or necessarily that she was sorry that she did it necessarily.
I'm just saying that as of right now, he's the victim. And maybe they will release more. I highly doubt it because it's a murder-suicide. But as of right now, all I can say is he's the victim, and it's just a very, very sad situation, especially in Oklahoma, you know what I mean? But
yeah, I know. It's so close to home, for us at least.
Yeah. So, anything to finish on that, Dill?
No, any closing statements other than, it's a crying shame.
Alright.
People dying.
Alright. You're gonna love this last segment, but before we get into that, it's another website advertisement. Next Generation Wrestling site at weebly.com as Dylan eats his sandwich. And Established Sports, you can find us on YouTube, youtube.com/Established Sports, youtube.com/Andy8763. And just a brief thing, we'll probably be doing this every Thursday. I haven't talked about this with Dylan, but maybe every Tuesday and Thursday. Something. But if you just stick to the Twitters or the websites, y'all know when the show will be up. You know what I mean? So.
Yep.
All right, that's the website advertisement for this.
Damn good sandwich, by the way.
All right, hey, that is a great time to bring in dun 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 the food of the day. Dylan, what is your food of the day?
My food of the day was what I just had earlier. I toasted me some bread, threw me on a slice of American cheese.
America, bitch.
Melted it down. Threw on some good old cooked ham, just a simple ham and cheese sandwich. And threw on some barbecue sauce. It was good. I like me some barbecue.
Barbecue sauce? Barbecue? On a sandwich?
You know, my good old barbecue.
Man, I literally got home with like 10 minutes before the show, or less than 10 minutes before the show, dude. I came in there, and my food of the day, man, I got me some Johnsonville brats and some Johnsonville hot links, dude, and I whipped that stuff down, finished it with a chocolate chip cookie and my Pepsi Max. Man, that is my food of the day. You know what I mean?
That sounds pretty good.
It is, man. All right. Wow, we are finally to the last subject. I cannot believe we're finally here. Now, Dylan, I didn't add this on to the script, but I thought this was a great segment, and it wouldn't surprise me if we got a good 20 minutes out of this one.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, yeah, dude. Are you ready for it, Dill?
I'm ready.
Texting and driving.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. You know, this really isn't a story. This is more of
a topic.
A topic, an opinion. But, you know, I'll admit, and I think anybody who has drove, especially if you're 16, 17, somewhere around there, you have once or twice, maybe more, for me, more. But, you know, at least looked at your phone if you have like a smartphone, an unlocked phone. You'll do that just to see, you know what I mean? Or you'll text during your driving. Now, I don't recommend texting and driving because that is very dangerous. And most of the time, I don't text and drive. But if you do choose to text and drive, I suggest you do it at like a stoplight or while you're in traffic. You know what I mean?
I got a funny story about that.
Sure.
One time, we were speeding, and half of us didn't have our seatbelts on. And the only reason the cop didn't pull us over was because he was busy texting and driving.
Oh, damn!
So, I mean, it came in handy there, but like I said, don't recommend it, because it's, you know, speeding is dangerous. We weren't wearing our seatbelts. We deserve to get pulled over. I'm happy we didn't, obviously, but, you know, it interfered with the police officer's job.
Yeah, but did he give you all a ticket?
Nope, he didn't even pull us over. He didn't even see us.
Damn.
He was too busy messing with his phone.
Damn. All right. I'm gonna change subjects. I just heard this and I thought this was a very funny story, and it kind of blends into my job. Former wrestler. All right. He was a druggie. All right. He goes into a CVS or it was CVS, something to that nature. Basically a Walgreens. All right. And you gotta remember this. This is in one day. Okay. He goes in, asks the pharmacist, "Hey, can you give me?" I forgot what it was, like Xanax, something to that nature. All right. Pharmacist, no, I can't do that. A little bit later, goes in there again at a different time. He leaves and goes back. Asks again. Pharmacist says no. Goes in there a third time. He still gets denied. The fourth time he goes in there, okay, he demands okay, to have all this stuff. And the pharmacist basically in the transcript basically said that he had his hands in his jacket pocket, and a jacket, most of them have zip ups, and you have pockets in the front. So he had his hands in his pockets as he was saying this, and the pharmacist basically said that it looked like something was poking out of it. Okay, so he goes, don't make any. Should I put this? Basically, any attention to yourself. Go straight to the back. All right. Grab a couple bottles and give it to me. So, pharmacist went back there, got 3 bottles. All right. Well, there was a Chili's right next to it. Okay. And apparently, now I think this was Xanax, but it's a different drug. Basically, he goes to Chili's, orders some food, goes in the bathroom, stays in there for 40 minutes while he's shooting up this pill. And most of y'all will be like, that's a bunch of bullshit. I'm not a druggie, but there's somehow you can shoot up pills.
You can crush up pills into powders and just shoot them up. Like anything else you snort, like cocaine.
I just thought that was funny because he went to Chili's. I mean, who goes to Chili's to shoot up drugs? I mean, I'm just saying.
I know, like, Zach, our good friend Zach, when we went to the fair, he said that he saw people with all kinds of belts and stuff on their arms to tighten up their arms so they could shoot up heroin, just walking around with them. You know, just walking around the fair, shooting up.
All right, man. Well, I think, where are we? Let's see. Good 26-minute show. I think that's what we're gonna finish on. Thank y'all for listening, Dylan. Thank y'all. Thank you for joining us. And
I'm happy to. And thanks for listening, people. We really do appreciate it.
People, email me, and we will try to talk Dylan into a Twitter. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, Next Generation Wrestling site at weebly.com, youtube.com/Andy8763. Go to all that and keep supporting the show. And this might end up on YouTube. So with that being said,
it'd be great.
Hey, it would be great. With that being said, thank you all for listening. Will it be twice a week? Will it be once a week? Will it be once a month? Who knows? The only way you can find out is by listening. With that being said, I am the Fat Man on Wrestling. This is Dylan. Dylan, any last comments?
Yeah. Any last comments? Well, I only got none for today, other than thank you. Come again.
All right, y'all. We will see you next time here on Podomac.com/Andy67.